Welcome to Necessary Conversations with Daryl M. Telefero. Conversations that are real, raw, and relevant. Let's get the conversation started now.
Hey, this is Daryl Telefero, and welcome to Necessary Conversations. I'm so excited you're here today. Welcome to episode number 2. Today we got a lot to talk about, and I want to ask you a question. Is it justice for some or justice for all? Today we want to talk about the cost of unchecked power. Let's get to it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all? If you're like me, you remember growing up when the teacher would ask all of the students to stand, face the flag, place your right hand over your heart, and say a 31-word vow of loyalty to the U.S. and its flag. Unfortunately, this same 31-word vow of loyalty has not been the same vow to its members. Today, I want to ask a simple question. Is it justice for all, or is it justice for some? The reality is many of us have watched the news over the last few days, and we've seen something sinister. We've seen something heart-wrenching. Time after time, people are dying at the hands of law enforcement officers. There's something going on across the United States, and at the center of it is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE. ICE is a federal agency responsible for enforcing immigration laws. This includes deportations, investigations, and sometimes tactical operations in various neighborhoods. They don't just operate at the borders, but they operate in communities, and sometimes these operations clash with local authorities and residents. But when things go wrong, what happens? When things go wrong, the consequences can be tragic. But understanding ICE's role is key to understanding why what happened in Minneapolis has gotten national attention. You see, already in the year 2026, in the first month of the year, we have 2 individuals killed at the hands of federal agents. The first was a young lady by the name of Renée Good. It was January 7th, 2026, when Renée Good, an American citizen, was shot and killed by an ICE agent during an enforcement operation in the city. Federal officials characterized the shooting as self-defense after they said she struck an agent with her vehicle. But the version of those events don't line up with the video footage shared all across the world. Then on January 24th, a young man by the name of Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse and U.S. citizen, during another operation in the city, was shamefully, heart-wrenchingly killed at the hands of federal agents. Admittedly, law enforcement agents tried to say he brandished a gun. They tried to say that he posed a threat, but bystander video footage shows him only holding a phone and trying to assist others before he was fatally shot. If you're listening to this podcast and you hear the passion in my voice, it's because here it is. Another innocent U.S. American is shot and killed by law enforcement. Yet this administration constantly perpetuates a narrative that federal agents are simply doing their job. Absolutely not. This is an abuse of power, and it is a prime example of what happens when power goes unchecked. The shooting triggered protests around the city, across the country, raising questions about oversight, accountability, and the use of deadly force. You see, these events aren't just statistics. They represent real people, families, and communities grappling with the power of federal law enforcement and the consequence of when force is used and how force can go too far. The reality is this is happening far, far too much, and I pray that we don't become numb or indifferent to such atrocities. It's easy to scroll past or to rationalize these tragedies, but every life lost under the questionable circumstances that we've seen here is a reminder that justice, transparency, and accountability are not optional. They are essential. Becoming indifferent allows systems of unchecked power to grow stronger, and it erodes the moral foundation of our communities. These events events demand that we care, that we speak, and that we act. As an African-American man who is absolutely familiar with the injustices in America, because it has also happened to my people, I'm reminded of a powerful quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said something like this: "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." That truth is clear here. ICE operations in Minneapolis raise questions about authority, oversight, and accountability. The sad reality is we've seen this all before. Michael Brown in Ferguson, Sandra Bland in Texas, Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky. All people going about their lives, yet caught in tragic encounters with law enforcement. Tamar Rice, a 12-year-old boy playing in the park. Eric Garner pleading, "I can't breathe." These are lives cut short, leaving families and communities grappling with grief and anger. And here's the thing, this could happen to any of us. As I said earlier, imagine leaving your home in the morning to run to the grocery store and never coming back. Imagine leaving your home on your way to work, minding your own business, and you get pulled over by law enforcement who seemingly are consumed with power, and all reason goes out the door. And unfortunately, you never make it back home. Your life, your family, your daily routine interrupted in an instant by forces you didn't see coming. It's terrifying, and it's real for many families today. And unfortunately, as I said, the Trump administration is fueling the fire. Policies and rhetoric that expand aggressive ICE operations, reducing oversight and normalizing what I would call heavy-handed law enforcement, make these tragedies more likely and not less likely. This isn't just a local issue. This is a systemic problem being reinforced at the highest levels of power. It's a wake-up call for all of us that we cannot allow this to continue to go on unchecked. We must stay informed, demand accountability, and refuse to be passive. You see, understanding these events isn't just about following the news. It's about recognizing the patterns. It's about stepping up and speaking up. You see, the reality is, as Christians, we have a response. And as a Christian, our response should be to act, to do, to respond. The Bible calls us to seek justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. That's in Micah 6:8. Faith isn't just about a private belief. It's about action in the world. The Bible says faith without works is dead. As a Christian, your response should be, number one, as many of us do, pray. Pray for wisdom, protection, and discernment, not just for you, but for the families affected, communities under stress, and even for those in authority. Yeah, I said it. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, but our responsibility is not just to pray for the victim, but also to pray for those who are causing the problem. But then number two, our responsibility is to stand for justice. Proverbs 31:8-9 says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute." That could be like raising awareness, writing to your local elected officials, participating in town halls, or supporting various legislation. But then number three, our responsibility as Christians is to act with love and service. You see, it's not good enough for us to love those who love us back. Our responsibility is to love those who make it difficult for us to love them back. Take a moment, take it in, think about it. But then not only that, our responsibility is service. That can look like volunteering your time to be a mentor to some young person. Our responsibility is to act with love and service, because the reality is small acts of compassion, they matter. But then the next thing that we're to do is to participate in nonviolent advocacy, attend peaceful protests, push for reform and oversight. Wait a minute. Isn't that what Pretti, this 37-year-old ICU nurse, attempted to do? Yes. That is exactly what he attempted to do. For all intents and purposes, at the conclusion of his life, he was trying to help a woman who had been knocked down by these vigilantes called ICE. These individuals who are going from city to city, stirring up unnecessary trauma and turmoil. Now, let me be clear. I am all for doing your job, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And it's our responsibility as Christians to step up and to do what we need to do. But then here's an important thing as well. Our responsibility is to vote and to engage civically. You see, voting is one of the most direct ways to hold leaders accountable and to shape policies. locally and nationally. The reality is many of us focus on national elections. Oh, we get out and we vote for the president. We get out and we do what we need to do. Why? Because we say to ourselves, I don't want 4 more years of this, but we neglect our local elections. Do you not know that many of your local elections are directly responsible for the legislation in your community? Yes, mayors, city council, sheriffs, school boards, and even on a national level. By voting, we bring our values and our faith to the forefront. Therefore, we encourage others to vote. Educate yourselves on the candidates and make your voice count. Faith without works is dead. When we act, we do what? Well, we honor God and uplift our neighbor. Here's a sad reality. These situations are not just in Minneapolis. These situations are happening closer and closer to home. If you're ever in a situation with law enforcement, if you're ever confronted by law enforcement, it can be intimidating, especially during ICE operations. Let me give you some steps to stay safe and protect your rights. Number 1, stay calm and respectful. Keep your hands visible. Speak calmly and avoid sudden movements. If you're in your car, keep your hands at 10 and 2. Listen, even if the officer says license and registration, you ask permission to move your hands to get your license. You ask permission to move your hands to get your registration. Even as I'm talking to you right now, I feel the emotion building because it is an unfortunate reality that we have to protect ourselves against the very people who were sworn to protect us. But then number 2, know your rights. You can remain silent and say, I'm exercising my right to remain silent, and I would like to speak to an attorney. You can also ask if you're free to leave, but it's more important that you know your rights. Number 3, don't resist and don't argue. Let your attorney handle the dispute. Resisting will only escalate the situation. Don't resist. Don't argue. You may say, well, Daryl, I don't have an attorney. If you are faced with a situation where you are arrested unlawfully, where you are detained unlawfully, where you are physically assaulted, you are harmed in any way based upon an unlawful arrest, there will be an attorney that will come to your aid. Don't resist, don't argue. But then number 4, document as much as you can. If you can record, record. If you can take notes that include the names of the officers, badge numbers, location, if possible, of the incident, try to record and take notes as much as you can. Now, I know you're thinking, well, Daryl, you just told me to be still. You just told me to keep my hands 10 and 2. Yes, I did. But guess what? There are certain dash cams now that have articulating cameras. In other words, they have a camera in the front, and they also have cameras that point to the passengers in the vehicle, which mean you may want to get a dash camera that focuses on the front, but also focuses on you, so that in the event that you are pulled over, you can capture the whole thing in real time. Remember, you've got to know your rights. And even if you don't have an attorney, you can go to your local legal aid and they can provide you resources to help. These tips are for anyone interacting with law enforcement. As we process these events, remember this: safety, justice, and accountability are rights. They're not privileges. And unfortunately, Minneapolis reminds us that when the system fails, it is up to us to stay informed, speak up, and act with compassion. Whether we're doing it through prayer, advocacy, volunteering, voting, amplifying our voices, or doing all that we can to bring awareness, our responsibility is not just to say something, but our responsibility is to do something. Listen, I appreciate you listening to this episode, and I hope and pray that you continue to advocate not just for you, but for those who are considered to be the least, the last, and the left out. Until next time, we'll see you on Necessary Conversations.
Thanks for listening to Necessary Conversations with Daryl M. Telefero. Follow us on social media at Necessary Conversations Podcast. Join the conversation by leaving a message on our website, necessaryconversationspodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you'll be notified every time a new one drops. Now, go have the conversations you need to have with the people you need to have them with.